Mindanao, 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 Mindanao.
The Insider Mediators in Mindanao was established to enhance peace processes by strengthening capacities for dialogue, mediation, and inclusive decision-making. Ibrahim Murad, head of the MILF Bangsamoro Transitional Commission, on October 11, 2018, said that they have achieved another level of struggle, which is the democratic process, a bigger jihad, because now they will be struggling with their own selves as the enemy.
The group is triggered by actually a shift and an experiment at the level of the United Nations to what is a traditional mediation concept in the UN. So what has always been the concept in the UN for mediation is when there's a conflict, the UN sends someone from the outside as the mediator. But there has been a discussion inside the United Nations about how effective actually is mediation undertaken by someone outside of the conflict. So there was a workshop which was conducted in the Netherlands, and I was invited as one of the participants. In the workshop, I presented the case of the Bangsamoro and a diagnosis of what appears to be a conflict, not just between the Bangsamoro and the government, but also within the Bangsamoro because of different sectors, different groups. And during the presentation, one of the lecturers in the workshop in the Netherlands took interest in the case of the Bangsamoro and asked us if we can actually roll out the program because it's a new program in the UN and they wanted to test it in different areas, including Africa. In the Bangsamoro, we took the initiative of trying to work out a system of mediating the internal conflict between the Moros and the Philippine government, and also inside the Bangsamoro, among us.
They started training on mediation, ensuring that they get people from different organizations, such as the MILF, MNLF, and from civil society. The group grew from the initial number of 30 to over 100.
They have contributed also in the process, especially in the process of the in the Senate and the House, yung pagpasa sa the passage of the law.
But this is not without challenges.
The first challenge that you need to surmount as a member of the Insider Mediation Group is that you need to make sure that you keep yourself as part of your group. So we do not intend to bring you out of your group because you need to be in your group as an insider. And yet, you should be brave enough to come out of your group and then engage with some other group and some other people coming from different background, different organizations, and momentarily, in a way, suspend your prejudice against another group and be not judgmental about other groups.
Chetan Kumar explains the IM work further.
So if we look at any process of dialogue in any country around the world, going back to the end of the Cold War, for example, the past 30 years, we find that whether the dialogue was a peace process or a constitution making or some kind of national dialogue, it has been successful and the results implemented if insider mediators have played a role. And these insider mediators are, let's say, people who are senior intermediaries, senior advisors to principals, people with influence because of their backgrounds, their geography, their profession, who can intervene with the key stakeholders and bring about the adjustments in sometimes attitudes, sometimes behaviors, sometimes trust and confidence that are necessary to implement any agreement or to make any dialogue a success. Beyond the formal process, we need insider mediation. The most important thing to understand about insider mediation is that the capacity for insider mediation, the roles of these senior intermediaries working together informally, but in a very systematic way, is that it can be applied to different settings. So any national issue that requires bringing people together, any issue that requires cooperation, this can be helped by insider mediation. So as you correctly said, in Philippines,
The insider mediators come from diverse backgrounds and political persuasion. Attorney Bong Parcasio, former ARMM Executive Secretary, explains.
We Muslims, IPs who've been Islamized in this part of south of Philippines, my mother being a Tausug Maguindanao, have this principle that we follow, which is an injunction from the Quran. We are enjoined to raise a ban among us to enjoin what is right and forbid what is wrong. And the Quran promises there will be those who will be successful. So this is an obligation upon me and upon, I think, those who are involved in these insider mediators, because we belong to different persuasions, different organizations. Some are, of course, with the MNLF, with the MILF, and some are coming from government sector, because we have participants coming from the government sector and civil society. But we have banded together because of this principle to enjoin what is right and forbid what is wrong. And what is right is unity. What is wrong is disunity. What is right is promoting justice and struggling further to realize the right of the Bangsamoro people to be able to fully exercise their right to self-determination. And what is wrong is injustice, historical injustice imposed upon them. While we have common understanding, this does not go in contravention to where we are coming from, no? Because from where each one of us is coming from is really also, there's also a common vision, and the common vision is self-rule for the Bangsamoro people.
So I think that is the common drive that we all have in the IM, regardless of your organization, regardless kung ano man yung background mo, it's that RSD that binds us all together. The desire to contribute our ideas and our energies together as IM. It's the aspiration for the Bangsamoro people, and it is an exercise of our right to self-determination.
For Deputy Executive Secretary Abdullah Hussein, the role of insider mediators inside the BARMM is relevant.
I really look at the IM as a group of progressive-minded individuals. It's a mixture of individuals from diverse experience and callings in life. Although I would not say the IM is a group that espouses common issues. I know may mga differences din in their own opinions of how they look at issues. But the best thing about IM is that it's a forum wherein everyone can freely express his opinion, even if it won't be palatable to others. I think it still be relevant now as it was before, since almost all IMs naman are in one way or the other very much involved in the Bangsamoro cause. As per how these individuals interpret the Bangsamoro cause, well, that's the beauty in having diverse opinions. The end result is that it's like a rainbow. It's made up of different colors, but in its totality, maganda yung kinalalabasan. So I do believe...
Lawyer Omar Sema, Insider Mediator and member of the Bangsamoro Transition Authority, finds the role of insider mediators inside the BARMM now as more important.
It's more important because even in the BTA you can see the different interests and needs of the people that are being represented there. Although we are not elected, a lot of the members of the BTA, especially those who were nominated by the government, there are different interests there. Some of them are members of political clans. Some of them belong to different organizations. Some of them are traditional leaders. So their interests, they have brought their interests in the BTA. Mediation is more relevant now given the intertwining and conflicting interests, so that at the end of the day, all laws that we will pass will be truly representative of the interests of the people and, of course, inclusive.
The experiences of insider mediators in Mindanao open new avenues and alternatives in the pursuit to a just and lasting peace.